What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. This might be a long one. When I mean long, it's probably gonna be like 30-40 minutes long. Hopefully not. We got some finds that we have made while yard sailing during the weekend, and stuff we bought off people that we contacted. And if you've seen the background, they're never seen before tackle boxes. Well, I guess we should get into the first thing because it's going to be a long video. Alright, this is one of the first ones that's empty. It's a vintage lid locker. Lid locker I meant. It's got like the top compartments. Super hard to open. Yeah, it's like a little hidden compartment up top. Not really hidden, but this is it's your basic tackle box. Nothing really special. It says the name right there. The inside, though. The inside of it. Ooh, prop this thing up. There's nothing really special about it. It's got like a dark inside. It's got no room for the spinner baits or nothing like that, so this one's not really that special. So we're just gonna hurry up and got to that one. The next one I made, I've bought two of them. There was a small and a large one, and the guy who had them, it was like a junky thing. Only one was, I spent $3 on both of them. I kept one of them because they were missing the latch, but I just decided to put a Fenwick one. It's an old Woodstream Sports Fisher 83. This is the large one. I had the small ones just like this, but just smaller. Nothing really special about this one. It's got a lot of room. It's got some of the dividers. It's very stiff though. Ooh. It's got in the bottom right here, it's got the spinner baits thing for the spinner baits. I never knew what those were. These things right here. Never knew what those were. But yeah, this is that one. Nothing really special with these ones. I'm just going through all the empty ones. It's a pain to close. Now, we're getting into the other ones. The next one I bought is this vintage, super old Plano tackle box. I bought it from some guy. Of course, there's Sharpie written all over it. It's a very weird one. It says Plano there. It's not like the other ones. It says Plano there, and it has the number one. Got the one, like 1,500 or whatever. But the inside of this one is super cool. It's got this holder for this old Plano trail, you can't really see it, trail park. You can hold saw plastics in there. When I bought it, which I'll probably get into when I show the stuff that came inside some of these, there were a lot of vintage saw plastics, and this one had the best lure in here, but we'll get to that one in a minute. Nothing really special about it. It's got the normal trays, and this one doesn't have dividers. But yeah, there's nothing really that important about it. Well, get into the next one. This is a slightly newer Plano. Not that old, newer though, but probably 90s. It's got the top access. And inside is all our pose lures. But when we got this, when my brother bought this one, And what he did not know was when he opened it, he didn't see nothing, but when I opened it, there were 3 pose lures inside, and we'll get to those because those are in here. Yeah, there's nothing really that special about this one. It's just super big. It's got all this room. See if I can find them. This one. I think. No. Oh, it is this one. This was one of the pose that were in there. It's the only one we got of this one now. It's a very big one. And then we got a couple small ones. So we can find them. I feel like they're in the bottom. A lot of pose. This one. It's like the smaller version of the crankbait one. It's got a cool looking pattern on it. Definitely don't make them like they used to anymore. And there should be one more in here, if I'm correct. See if I could find it. Should be in here somewhere. Oh, this is it. This golden black pose crankbait. But yeah, that's what the current pose collection looks like. I did make a video on that, so if y'all haven't seen that yet, you should check it out. Now that we added some new pose lures. This one, my brother bought from a guy. It's the 4-tray Plano. We had the 2-tray one, but this is the large one. And we bought it for a reason. 2 reasons. One, my brother really wanted this one. And there was something inside that we really wanted. It's got all the lures that you've seen in the second video that was ever made, which I showed off tons of vintage crankbaits and more that were inside the tackle box. So we moved a bunch. We got a bunch of Bandit, Bomber, Mans, everything you can think of. Let's go do a quick sweep just for the people that haven't seen it. And thank you for the guy who talked about that one, because we could barely see the name. The old Begley's Fat Cat. There's some of the Bill Dance eels. Got a bunch of those. Some rattle traps. Definitely got a lot of room in here. Ooh. Always a pain putting these older stuff away. Always a pain. This is the last tray. The second one just had some new stuff. This is the one I made that I showed off in the one video I recently made about the Fenwick, the big giant vintage Fenwick, the old Rebel. And then you got some baits that we recently bought, like the old Hula Popper and a Jitterbug. And these are some of the ones you've seen already. But up top is the best one, the best thing of them all. The whole reason, really the whole reason why we bought it. We put some stuff in here, but what was inside was the vintage color selector from 1984, where you would take this, you gotta have like one battery in it, and you take it, you drop it, and the dial would, I think, put you on the correct colors for that type of water. You got muddy, stained, and clear. This is like the one thing we've been looking for forever, and we found it. Super big. It's not heavy. Just this is the sand to help it drop inside of it. The one of the best thing, and the original manual. Yeah, just can't get any more old school than that. And this is like, it's like a treasure trove. But now, we're going to get into the baits that came inside the tackle boxes. And one thing I meant to mention was these are some of the lures that go to the color selector. And they're both Bill Dance. You got the Bill Dance eel and the Dance's crawl. On the back, they both say color selector because of their colors. One of the best things in our collection. And these are the baits. I have them in. This is the old Flemview Adventure tackle box we showed off in the video. I like to put some of the stuff in here. Some of the stuff you've seen in videos before. We got, this is what came in the Woodstream. This old fishing string. 50-pound test. I don't know what he was catching with 50-pound test. Bass fishing, but it's got the cool art cast Catch Master. And it's recently come to my attention that in the video I said this was a bomber. And kind of wasn't a bomber. It's a vintage Begley's that the guy put inside this vintage Smiling Minnow A box. Hey, it's like a very expensive lure though, so it's one of the really old ones. I think I've showed that off in the video. These are the soft plastics that came inside. And they're all, I think they're all creams. Look at that detailed looking worm look on them. Seeing the light. You got all kinds in. You got normal looking worm. This guy who had it when we bought it already had his old rig still on it. And you got some more. And yeah, all the same thing. Now, we're getting to the good stuff. Before I get to the one that I said had the best lure, I'll show you some other stuff that was in there. This was inside the Woodstream one. A vintage pack of old Mr. Twister worms that are like perfect condition. And the sticker should be in here. Just this. It should be in here. It's the old, here it is, old 1987 classic winners. For the old man, Mr. Twister worms. It used to go right here, but you know, being in a tackle box for that long. Then this was inside, and I thought that was super cool. An old card for an old tackle shop. That was super cool. And you see some of the stuff we showed off in other videos. Oh, and this did come inside the one with the color selector. We just put that rattle trap in there, but it was an old rattle trap box. So we decided to put one of the old ones in there. I'm surprised. This video is going faster than I thought it would. So these were the ones that were inside the one I was talking about. Got some. This is a super old Rebel jerkbait. The eyes all bulgy. They're not painted on, and they're really bulgy. It's not that big. Super cool bait. Then you got this big sucker. Rebel with their traditional color. A little worn, looks like it was definitely being well used. It's a bigger one. Then there's a Rebel bait I never thought of would have seen. Also tangled up with the old Bomber. No, this is a Rebel. And this came in the Woodstream one too. It reminds you of the Bomber, the vintage Bomber, but it's a vintage Rebel Fire Tiger. And then what else was inside? The last one is the vintage Man's crankbait. Super cool, but they're like weird looking Fire Tiger design. And this was in here too. I cleaned it off. It looks really good now. It's a vintage Man's Stingray Grub. Don't see him. It's got like the jelly worm tail. But this bait, this Rebel bait, is like, I've never seen it hardly. It's an old Rebel rattle trap, kind of like, or lipless crankbait. It's definitely been well used, but I've never seen it. It's got a rattle. Nope, it has no rattle. Actually does kind of sound like it's got something in there. Never seen it. Now, this is the final one. This is the whole reason why I bought that one Plano. Because inside was a vintage 1970s Big O. And it's hard to find these Big O's. Online, they're not that expensive. But you rarely see them in the package. Here's another one, for example. Literally the same thing, different colors. But this is a super older one. It's not the Fred C. Young one. The wooden one, but I wish. But the packaging is different. It's got the original Cotton Cordell logo, and it's got the old Big O. And it's the same exact thing. Whole reason why I bought it. Super cool stuff. Alright guys, we're at the end of the video. Leave a like and subscribe. And turn on that notification bell if you want to see more cool vintage reviews on fishing.